Oh no, that's a damnation. Everything's gonna get blown up. Oh god. I really hope KO doesn't have a protection spell. He does. It's a Teferi's protection. Oh god. KO is gonna be very far ahead. Today on Commander Replay, we take another look at Zabaz the Glimmerwasp and find out who wins this really long game of Commander. Next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Killer B. Killer B, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Zabaz the Glimmerwasp today. Take a look at this opening hand. We've got two lands in Arcane Signet. That gets us into a Mimic Vat, into a Core Cartographer. No mountains, which is a little dicey, but I think we can live off the Arcane Signet for a little bit. I think this works. We'll go ahead and keep. So today's game should be a little bit more on the janky side. This is a deck list created by Zombie Caller, who's in the game with us today. And he's got some really interesting combos in the deck, but they do look rather hard to assemble. So we'll see how that goes. We'll take a look at those in a little bit. I think there are definitely more powerful things you can be doing with Zabaz relative to what this deck is doing, but this does look like a ton of fun to play, so there is that. There's a Boros Garrison that gets us that red mana that we need, so that'll be good. Play of Plains, not much to do. Tap out and pass. These are really awkward now. So when we get to our next turn, I'm probably going to go Plains Arcane Signet and then follow up with the Boros Garrison the turn after that. The timing of these is really awkward, and I had started cutting these from my deck, but now with the dual phase Zendikar lands, it's kind of forced me to keep them in and just sort of deal with the fact that they are awkward a lot of the time. But if you told me you were going to cut these from your deck, I would not blame you. The game's in a place where the timing of these is just really rough. They can be a lot more clunky than just dropping in a tap land, especially because of like max hand size and all that. Like if we played it right now, we would still have 8 cards in hand and have to discard and all that. So yeah, they're a little awkward. But with that, let's go Plains Boros Signet. We caught that off the top. Arcane Signet is easier to tap right away, where the Signet, since we can't do anything else this turn. Actually, I guess we could have cast our commander. Oh god. Wow. I forgot that our commander cost 1. We totally could have played it last turn. Whoops. Oopsie. So this is the first video that I filmed in about 2 weeks. I took a little time off. And, you know, I'm always a little rusty when that happens. Forgot that we have a 1-mana commander. Land tax coming in for opponent. And Zombie did get himself a Mind Stone. Here comes Dalakos into play. Crafter of Wonders. Oh, I need to get one of those for my Sisay Legendary Blades deck. Keep forgetting to do that. Brings back to our turn. There's a Cleansing Nova. Don't need that right now, but at some point in the future, maybe. Okay, yeah, so this turn we can go Arcane Signet, get our commander, drop in the Boros Garrison, and bring the Plains back to our hand, and alright, no harm, no foul. Probably could have poked someone for 1 or 2, but I think we'll be alright. As I said, this is going to be a jankier game, so not necessarily just trying to aggro people as fast as humanly possible out of the game. So we'll talk about our commander, and then we'll talk about our opponent's commanders. So we are playing Zabaz the Glimmerwasp, 1 mana for a 1/1 with Modular 1. If a modular triggered ability would put 1 or more counters on a creature you control, put that many +1/+1 counters instead. So you get an additional +1/+1 counter whenever a modular ability triggers. You can pay a red to destroy target artifact you control, or you can pay a white to give Zabaz flying until end of turn. So a very interesting commander, makes Boros modular an archetype, which was something I had tried in the past with Aurelia Exemplar of Justice, because of the Mentor ability puts +1/+1 counters, but I found that there just wasn't like enough of a payoff and enough density of like good modular creatures to really be able to do that. With the printing of more of them, that definitely helps, and having something that cares about that effect in the command zone also does a lot. So let's take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up is Zombie Caller 42 piloting Colfenor the Last U, and he said this is going to be a Warlock deck. I don't know exactly what that means, but Colfenor very interesting. When it or another creature you control dies, return up to 1 other target creature card with lesser toughness from your graveyard to your hand. Very interesting, very easy to do Abzan graveyard shenanigans with that deck. You know, if you're into aristocrats and that style of play, lots of things to be doing there. But generally, Zombie's going to run something a little less powerful, but a lot more interesting. So that's what I'm expecting today. With all that brings it back to our turn. Wow, opponent got a lot done this past turn. So opponent got Thran Dynamo, Helm of Cauldra. Equip the Helm of Cauldra to Dalakos. It has First Strike, Flying, Haste, and Trample. It's a lot of keywords. Seems pretty good. That brings back to our turn. We draw a Forsaken Monument. I think that's actually right on time. So let's... We actually don't have any colorless producing lands, which is a little awkward. Pumps up our creatures, though. We can gain some life. Doesn't seem awful. Yeah, we'll just get it in. Seems like a good time to do that now. Forsaken Monument. We can definitely tap better. Zabaz, now a 3-3. I mean, I guess we're going to poke the bear and attack Delta Fiend, since they do seem to be the furthest ahead here. They take 3. We'll pass like that. This appears to be a Cauldra deck. Continuing on our opponents, by the way. In the middle, we have Chaotix 2075 piloting Razia, Boros, Archangel, and he said this is going to be a Dinosaur Enraged deck, so I'm genuinely excited to see this. I had been thinking about playing Razia myself, and I wasn't entirely sure what to do, so hopefully he shows us some really cool stuff today. I will say that I've been running Razia in my Angel deck recently, and the ability for Razia to come down late in the game with Flying, Vigilance, Haste is actually pretty good. I know it's clunky at 8 mana, so it's like definitely not something you can do early, but if you get to turn 9 or 10 and you've been ramping and making your land drops, maybe you have a little cost reduction in play, Razia with Aurelia is actually a pretty good play. But there have been some really good Legendary Angels printed in the last year, so it's getting harder and harder to keep Razia in the deck. You can look at my Angel list and look at the creatures that aren't in the deck. I don't even have Safara in my Angel deck right now because 7 mana is so crowded and there are so many creatures that just haven't been able to get it in. Too much to do. Opponent's going to get themselves a Combustible Gearhulk. I'm jealous. That probably needs to go in this deck. They're going to target us. Yeah, let's roll those dice. Let's take the damage. 7? We got hit for 7. What'd we been? Land, Burnished Heart, Reckless Crew. Okay. Yeah, that's probably worth it. I mean, Burnished Heart would give them a lot of mana. Because they have the Thran Dynamo, so they can cast the Burnished Heart with, like, basically without slowing down. Although, that Burnished Heart would be pretty good for our Mimic Vat, so maybe I'm a little disappointed there. It's going to move the Helm of Cauldra over to the Combustible Gearhulk, but it's already in their second main, so not going to be able to attack. But it does now have Flying, Haste, Trample, and First Strike. It's a lot of abilities. A lot of abilities. There's a Hedron Archive, more ramp for us. What are we doing this turn? Ooh. Hedron Archive is basically a Thran Dynamo with his Forsaken Monument in play. At some point, we're going to have the slow turn with Core Cartographer here. So we'll cast the Hedron Archive, we'll gain 2 life. I think we have a turn before we need to get Mimic Vat in. That's what I'm hoping. So let's get the Core Cartographer right here. And we can use the extra mana from Hedron Archive and Forsaken Monument. We can search our library for a Plains card. Which one would we like to get? What's this one do? Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's fun. Mistveil Plains is also a very good card. I think it's going to be the Mistveil Plains. Just seems too good not to. Yeah, we could be aggressive, but I'm just going to hold this Zabaz back. I know it's not really going to do anything against the Gearhulk, but it changes the way people look at your board. If we're tapped out and just wide open, then, we almost certainly get attacked. So this game is already going much better than the other game that I played with Zabaz. I definitely caught all the weird cards in the deck, and we'll take a look at those in a second. I'll show you which ones I cut from the deck and which ones I added. I added about 10 cards to the deck just to make it operate more smoothly because there were some legitimate do-nothing cards in the deck, which wasn't amazing. Spiteful Squad coming over. Spiteful Squad enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. Oh, that's like basically modular. Like, if we get the Mimic Vat down, well, there they say. They blocked it and they lost it, and now they're going to pump up their thing. Yeah, that seems good. We want to get the Mimic Vat in next turn for sure, because if they're going to do that, that's actually a pretty handy one to have around for our deck. Also, it's just good value. Our final opponent, by the way, is Delta Fiend piloting Dalakos, Crafter of Wonders, and it does appear that they are doing a Cauldra theme today. Dalakos, one that we played on the channel a while back, 3 mana, 2/4, tap it to add 2 colorless to your mana pool, use it only to cast artifact spells or activate artifact abilities. Equipped creatures you control have Flying and Haste. Yeah, pretty cool little equipment commander, in the wrong colors though. I played the deck a few times and blue-red is just not super well suited to doing like a Voltron thing. I would say you're a little better off just doing more of like an artifact theme. The biggest problem is the clock with Blue-Red Voltron. If you don't have Blackblade or Forged in play, you're going to need to hit someone a lot of times to kill them. Double Strike will help. The Double Strike in red it's generally a little harder to come by good Double Strike in red. It's all the cards that I'm thinking about are just really inefficient mana-wise. So it's not that it's a bad deck, but when you're playing Voltron, you really want white. White just does Voltron so incredibly well. You can search for all your equipment, and you have easy and efficient Double Strike. Also, you have a lot of protection effects, although in blue, I guess you have counterspells. But yeah, white just does a lot when you're playing Voltron, and having played the Dalakos deck, I really saw how much I missed having white as a color when trying to build that as a Voltron deck. No attacks from opponent, I would be wailing away with that Combustible Gear Hulk. I know it's such a good blocker. Yeah, it is a really good blocker. KO got himself a Temple Altasaur into play. If a source would deal damage to another dinosaur you control, prevent all but one of that damage. This thing is ridiculous with that big green one that fights everything. You can basically like one-sided board wipe the board. It's a really silly combo. And one time I was playing a Patreon on webcam, and I hate Miraged their Temple Altasaur with, what's the green one? It's something Altasaur, I think. And basically just nuked the board, and it was glorious. That was a lot of fun. Anyway, brings me back to our turn. There's a Vandal Blast. I'm sure we'll be needing that. We're probably going to wait just to see if we can try and milk a little more value first, though. The thing that we have to be careful of is if Shield of Kaldra comes down, Shield of Kaldra will make Helm and Shield indestructible. So we need to be careful of that. But this is definitely going to be the Mimic Vat turn, so let's get that in. Opponent's got a trading post. They can get artifacts back, can't they? Yeah, they can. They can sacrifice a creature to get an artifact back. I mean, I wouldn't be sad if they got their Burnished Heart back. We can put it under the Mimic Vat, and that'll be a pretty good time. Actually, we might be able to just blow up the sword. We might be able to blow up the helm right here. How much mana do we have left? Yeah, we have exactly 7, so we can Meteor Golem. I think we can... Ooh, we can also Meteor Golem the Combustible Gear Hulk, which also sounds like a lot of fun. Although, they have this up so they could sacrifice it. No, we don't care. It would still go under... Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. I know we could shoot the Kaldra, but the value... When you got a Mimic Vat in play, you just got to get greedy with value. That's a thing that you got to do. So we gain 2 more life, back up to 39. Meteor Golem coming in. Shoot the Combustible Gear Hulk. I will be really sad if someone shoots our Mimic Vat. Opponent's gonna fumble. No. Oh. At least they didn't hit us with it. We'll poke them with this. They can hit us back pretty hard. Well, whatever. More Zabaz in their face. I mean, they'll probably cast it again next turn, and then we can Vandal Blast, and that would theoretically give us the ability to use the Combustible Gear Hulk off the Mimic Vat. Selesnya Signet coming in. Spiteful Squad coming back. So far, I don't think we've seen any of the cards that I've added to the deck, but when we do, they'll probably be pretty helpful just because I basically added removal and card draw, and those are really impactful things to have. Although, I guess we already have 2 pieces of removal. Just kind of waiting for the right moment to use them. Whiteley Warrior Poet coming in. They're going to gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures they control, currently 5. Not bad, goes up to 45. Plus is their commander. They can do X damage, that's always a thing. Opponent's going to create a goat with the Trading Post. Yep, Trading Post is a fun card. I haven't run it in that many decks, but I always have a lot of fun with it when I do. Combustible Gear Hulk coming back. Going to target zombie this time. If I'm playing Spiky, I would just take the damage, but this isn't supposed to be a highly aggressive game, and we're probably about to Vandal Blast, so... Because of the fact that we're about to Vandal Blast, if they chose us, I might have actually given them the card draw, but strategically just taking the damage is the smarter play, especially when we have life gain. Ooh, also takes the damage, although they mill 3 lands, so wow, no damage. I'm sure they don't want those lands, so I think that actually worked out for both parties right there. I'm sure they were not looking to draw 3 lands. I mean, I guess, then you can still keep making your land drops, though, because they're about to lose all their artifact mana, so I guess that's a thing. Equips the Helm of Kaldra. Yep. There's a Clifftop Retreat. Play the Clifftop Retreat. Could use some card draw. We could crack the Hedron Archive at some point if we want to. Don't have, a ton to do here. I think it's just Vandal Blast time. Double check all of our lands. Yeah, we haven't found any cool lands yet. Card draw lands, anyway. Maybe do we hold off on the Hedron Archive in case we want to draw? It is making a pretty good amount of mana, though. Oh, no, because we plan to get the Gear Hulk, so we'll just use this. Then do that. And this is a super mean play. I'm excited about this because I don't usually run Vandal Blast anymore, especially in Boros, because I have all the whiteboard wipes, and, you know, for 1 more mana, you just play an austere command if you need to blow up the artifacts and all that stuff. So I have been thinking about the fact that I probably do need to start running Vandal Blast a little bit more. Not so much for the overload, which is obviously a very good thing, but more so the, like, someone has an early Soul Ring or Mana Crypt, and just having some ability to interact with that and not just let them run away with the game. Something that I've been thinking about a little bit more, but man, it's so hard to justify deck slots for anything these days. Oh no, opponent's gonna Swords the Combustible Gear Hulk, and they already tapped their trading post. And it gets exiled. That is unfortunate. Everyone denying us our value. Don't love it. Don't love it. Thirst for Knowledge. Draw 3 cards and discard 2 unless you discard an artifact. You know what's an interesting card? Compulsive Research, similar thing except for lands, but lands are so powerful in Commander that you really don't play Compulsive Research very much, but it was a very good card in 1 vs 1, and it is sort of shocking to me how good it was in 1 vs 1 and how bad it is in Commander. And it's not that it's bad, it's just not great. They discard a Thran Dynamo. Nope, that got blown up. They discard, I think, the Forsaken Monument. Well, now what do we do? I was hoping to be Mimic Vatting some stuff. I think KO's getting... KO with flyers? KO does not have flyers. Could attack as Planeswalker. We probably should, based on the way this table's going. I really just don't want Huatli ticking way up. We'll attack the Planeswalker. The other 2 are too good of blockers, because if anyone attacks, we block and they die, and then we can use the Mimic Vat. Oh, I completely forgot about Zabaz's ability. Okay, so at the end step, yeah, we have enough mana to do it too. So at the end step, we're going to wait as long as we can. Hope no one blows up our Mimic Vat. We can use Zabaz's ability to destroy our Meteor Golem, and then put our Meteor Golem under the Mimic Vat. That is a plan. I almost missed that. Almost missed that. Definitely a little rusty today. Not quite as sharp in all my stuff. And here's some life advice for you. If you want to get good at something, just doing it a lot will help a lot. Now, the more disciplined you are about like learning new skills within what you're doing will further that along. But yeah, if you want to be halfway decent at something, just do it like 2 or 3 times a week, every week for a year. And I'm sure by that point, you'll probably be pretty good at what you're doing. That applies to most things in life. Anyway, opponent's got this Violent Tumor coming into play. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle. They printed another one of those? They gotta stop printing those cards. Another Entomb type card. That wouldn't be... for us, do we care about that? I don't know if we care about that. I would definitely put an Ignite the Future into our graveyard. That's one that I would definitely put. Puts a Shale Dean of Radiance. Very cool. Very interesting card. Opponent's gonna attack us with the 2/2. Okay, this is a good opportunity for us to we can just block. And do we want lands or do we want Meteor Golems? For now, I think I'm gonna do lands. We'll block with this 2/2. You guys know me, I'm just all about generating more resources, and with this deck list, this isn't a deck that's gonna like consistently be able to out-resource your opponents, but with the start that we've had, with the cards that we have in play, we have the opportunity to do that, so I'm gonna take that opportunity. Also, you know, doing the Meteor Golem thing is a little bit savage. Might be slightly out of bounds for what this game is supposed to be, but we'll get there at some point. But for now, Spiteful Squad is under there. Do we care about them now? They can have it back. Yeah, let's get our Core Cartographer. We could mess them up with that, though, by putting something under the Mimic Vat if they're trying to get it back. Colfenor getting bigger. Surprisingly, they haven't really attacked anywhere with it. It's a 5/9. I'd be attacking somewhere. Now it's a 7/11. Yeah, pretty big. Also open 24 hours. There's an Emeria. 4 lands already. Yeah. Gonna keep gaining life, sure. Zerta coming in. That should be spicy. Zerta is a very cool card. I don't necessarily like to run it as a companion because it's fairly restrictive as a companion, but just jamming it into the 99 of a deck can be a pretty good time. Also, I played Zerta as a commander a number of times. I don't know if those ever like quite made it to video. There's definitely a couple live streams in there. You can do some really janky stuff. I know you can do like the CDH combo with it, and it's a very fast CDH deck, but there are some really weird cards that you can play that become reasonable if you have Zerta in play. Batterskull coming in. That's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Oh, Flying Haste, Lifelink, and Vigilance. Where do they want to go? They're going to go over to the Planeswalker. Yeah, not interested in what the Planeswalker has to offer, so this should kill it. Also, if we pump in a bunch of lands with the Mimic Vat, That will also power up this Brass's bounty. Something to think about. May not be a huge deal, but Zombie really wants that Planeswalker to stay alive, so he's going to shoot the Germ token. Interesting. Germ token down, Planeswalker survives, probably thinking there's not a lot of removal at the table, and that Planeswalker is a safety valve against problematic creatures, so I think that's his line of thinking there. And we're going to end step this Mimic Vat. And notably, this is one of those cards with the weird timing, where we'll be able to attack with this creature on our turn because it doesn't exile until the beginning of the next end step. Love that wording. You can do some fun stuff with that. I think Kiki Jiki is similar, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get this Idyllic Range. Seems like a fun card. Oh, did we not? Oh, that's to enter untapped. Oh, I messed it up. That sucks. I was planning to pump our Zabaz. That is disappointing. We don't have enough planes. Well, I guess we didn't. Disappointing. I was looking forward to that. There's a modular creature finally showing up. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other artifact creature you control. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm really debating on cracking this Hedron Archive. The problem is, this is a pretty janky deck. So when you have a janky deck, that means the quality of cards that you will draw can really vary. So in some sense, we're better just having more mana in play, but on the other hand, we do need to just find some cards at some point, so I don't know. I'm pretty torn about what to do with that. Let's get the Shikari in. Pumps up the team. I think I've talked myself into cracking the Hedron Archive. Let's do it. Land Open the Armory is not terrible. Play a mountain. Cast Open the Armory. Probably won't be able to activate the Mimic Vat this turn, but that's fine. Because we're going to get the card that is probably better than most of the other cards in this deck. I know there's a combo with Thornbite Staff. I'm not too worried about it right now, though. We're going to get Skull Clamp. Skull Clamp will allow us to easily win the game if it stays in play. So let's get ourselves a Skull Clamp. And we gain 2 life. Pretty sweet. We're going to put it on the Meteor Golem, since I think that might have the... Does it have the highest chance of getting blown up? Maybe it's our commander that does. Is this exile? That is exile. That won't help with Skull Clamp. So, what artifact are we actually sacrificing? There are many reasons why the Arcbound might die, so we'll just put it on there. As a 6/6, the Meteor Golem gives us a little bit of like blocking power, so I'm not necessarily looking to just blow that one up right away. Do we have any attacks? We need to leave mana up in case we need to destroy an artifact we control, so we could eat a token over there, but I don't really want to incur their wrath. Yeah. My play right here is it's just to try and eat the token. I just want to I want to get something done. I'm a Boros deck. We can't just sit idly back doing nothing. It's not a thing that I can do. We eat a token. Ooh. Mimic Vat with Arcbound Shikari actually seems really good. Our core cartographer gets exiled. Probably should have attacked with it since it was going to die anyway, but it's not a big deal. Opponents all had profitable blocks, so. Because this is so modular, and then we can pump Zabaz, and I think we'll actually be in range of, doing some pretty good damage next turn. Oh no, that's a damnation. Everything's going to get blown up. Oh god. I really hope KO doesn't have a protection spell. He does. It's a Teferi's protection. Oh god. KO is going to be very far ahead. And what does Delta Fiend have? Return Batterskull to their hand. Okay, that's fine. What do we have? Anything good? I don't know if we have anything good. Who are we putting under the Mimic Vat? That's the question. KO phases out. I think we might be looking at Razia next turn, too. Many triggers. Colfenor triggers. Zabaz is the command zone. Yeah, opponent's just going to keep getting the Spiteful Squad back. That's a cute little combo. Their Colfenor was huge. They weren't really aggressive with it, but they could have been attacking and just getting damage in or forcing people to chump block. You know, stuff like that. I'm all about an attack that, even if I'm not trying to kill an opponent, like we did last turn, basically, where you're just trying to, reduce their resources. You force them to block with something, and all about that life. Oh, God, we got to put all these on the stack. Really torn between the Shikari and the Meteor Golem. I can't tell what's what in the Mimic Vat triggers. Guess we'd have to click yes to all of them. Was that a token? I don't know what that was. Maybe it was a commander. There's a Colfenor. Goes back to the command zone, though. There's the Meteor Golem. I think I'm going to do the Shikari. The Meteor Golem, it's, pretty savage. The Shikari's newer, right? Meteor Golem Mimic Vat's been around for a very long time, so I think I'm going to go with the newer line here, just so we can look at it. But I know that strategically, Meteor Golem under the Mimic Vat is the correct thing to do. Repeatable removal, always really good. Violent Tumor is not the worst thing I've ever heard of. Although we have the Skull Clamp, so we have the card draw now. There aren't that many creatures. There aren't that many things I want in the graveyard, so... There's the Shikari, finally. And we finally get to draw 2 cards. Arcbound Ravager and Chromatic Orrery are magic cards. Chromatic Orrery, gonna make 6 mana with the Forsaken Monument, which means we're basically only paying 1 to use it. Seems like pretty good mana ramp to me. Ooh, the fact that this is an artifact means that we can sacrifice it to the Ravager, pump up the Ravager, and we'll have counters going everywhere. I like this. I like this. Feeling good. Do need our Mimic Vat to survive, though. Although I wonder by putting the Shikari under there, if people are more likely to let it live. You put the Meteor Golem under there, you're forcing someone to spend removal on it if they have it. Yeah, I think this is a Razia. Razia Boros Archangel coming in. What year is it? There are only 6 creatures in the game of Magic that unconditionally have Flying, Vigilance, and Haste. Can you name all 6? Razia is obviously one. I'll give you a hint. Aurelia is the second. KO spreading out the attacks right here. Didn't attack with his commander. No, did he? Yeah, no, he's not attacking with command. I would definitely be attacking with the commander. Dalakos coming back to play. Yep. Our Mimic Vat has survived, and that makes me very happy. We catch a Dwarven Mine off the top, so we'll go ahead and play that. 3 or more other mountains. I don't know if we have that. We do not. It comes in tapped. Let's get the Chromatic Orrery into play. We gain 2 life. Tap the Orrery. Get Zabaz. Actually, that'll be 3. That'll be 2. Oh, then we're going to be a little short. So let's go Ravager. Mimic Vat. Oh, man. Do we have exactly enough? Tell me we have exactly enough. The timing will be a little weird here since we didn't get our commander first. Yep. Yeah, we're losing a teeny bit of value because I timed it wrong, but we'll be fine. Get Zabaz. Skull Clamp the Shikari. KO says he forgot Razia has Vigilance. Yeah. There's literally no cost to attacking with Razia, especially if there's no flying blockers. Yeah, that's that all worked out pretty cool right here. KO seems to have the most going on, so I think we can send this into him because the first strike's actually a problem for Razia. Although, maybe not. If a source would deal damage to another dinosaur, you can... Oh, not a dinosaur. Okay, cool. But Razia can prevent the 3 damage and then send that damage to a thing. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we don't want to tempt fate there. So we'll just poke Zombie. He takes a hit for 3, and we'll Arcbound Ravager the Shikari. Modular onto Zabaz. Skull Clamp, and Ravager will get a counter on it. Yeah, things are looking pretty good here. 2 lands, not the best. One's a Scry Temple, so we might be on that one. But we can Skull Clamp more if our stuff survives. Probably be in a rough spot if it doesn't. If someone plays a Vandal Blast and we lose the Orrery. Also thinking about the card draw with the Orrery, so. But we've got a 6/6 and a 5/5. That keeps away a decent number of things, at least for now. Although, yeah, this could be a problem if he wants to shoot our stuff. I guess we could modular 1, but then we kind of lose this cool little combo we have going on. Now, maybe not completely. I guess the Zabaz can blow up the artifact too, so not the end of the world. Dawnheart Mentor coming in. Enters battlefield, make a 1/1. Journey to Eternity on the 1/1. There you go. That's a play. Ooh, KO can deal damage to his own stuff if he wants to. He doesn't have an Enraged dinosaur yet, but he's got a lot of mana. 6 planes on Emeria. That's an issue. In a longer game, Emeria can beat you very easily. Territorial Hammerskull. Whenever it attacks, tap target creature an opponent controls. There's a Wheel of Fortune. That's not the worst thing. It's actually, well, maybe it's not great in that our opponents are going to get a bunch of cards right here. Like, our hand wasn't... Oh, God, that hand's terrible. Now we need to pray that our little combo with the card draw survives here because this is not good. Just going to keep plussing. No attacks. He could still be slamming away with that Razia. Someone would be on 12 commander damage right now. I've talked about it a lot. Whenever you have an opportunity to get damage in, you should get damage in. You don't know how the board state, especially this late in the game, how the board state's going to change in the course of a turn. Board wipes happen, crazy combos happen, so many terrible things can happen. You might as well take the damage when it's there, especially when you have Flying Vigilance Haste. There's literally no cost to attack. I know in Commander, we get really focused on, like, the big plays. Like, this Mana Geyser coming down. This is probably going to be a really big play. But it gets easy to lose focus on the small plays, too. And the small plays can matter. Like, the difference between executing 3 or 4 small plays properly, getting all the timing sequenced the right way, like we messed up that Zabaz trigger. If you mess that up 3 or 4 times in a game, that can actually put you like a turn behind, depending on what mistakes you made exactly. Whereas if you do everything sequenced the right way, and you make all of those small plays properly, that stuff adds up over the course of a game. Opponent gets themselves a Hearth and Home, a Sword of the Animist, a Sword of Kaldra. Yep. Things are taking shape. Equips the Hearth and Home. Luckily, our commander is colorless. Next thing we'll want to find is the Ozolith. Sword of Kaldra. It's a 12-14. We've poked them a few times. I'm wondering if they'll have mercy on us, or if they'll recognize that KO has a lot going on. I guess we kind of do too. Ours is a little trickier. KO just has a bunch of creatures lined up and one pretty good one to protect them. No attacks! Man, you kids and not attacking. Peep's got to be getting attacked right there. Even if it's us. Like, I don't want to be attacked, but, you know, you got to get that damage in while you have it, especially with that. And get a Hearth and Home in there. Sword of the Animist trigger in there. Yeah, that's 2 lands. That's 2 lands they're not getting. 2 lands is a really big deal. Burnished Heart wins games, right? That's what 2 lands does. Oh, opponent's going to Chaos Warp the Mimic Vat. No, KO. Oh, that's not great. Heliod's Intervention, well, I'm sure that's going to be handy at some point. We may want to leave a little mana up for that, just in case we need to blast stuff. The problem now is that we don't have, like, a lot going on. Is it worth it to pay 5 to draw 2, when that's also making a bunch of extra mana? We could Buried Ruin something back. That's not a terrible idea. Buried Ruin Hedron Archive, maybe? Buried Ruin Meteor Golem? Really just kind of want to find that Mimic Vat again. That Mimic Vat was going to carry us home. Start with the easy part, which is get this Soul Ring into play. We gain 2 life. Ooh, the Soul Ring's going to make extra mana. Maybe we do draw the cards. 3 off the Soul Ring, yeah, I think that makes sense now. We do not control any red or white permanents. Okay, we don't want to activate that yet. Maybe we won't be drawing the cards with that. I mean, we got to draw cards one way or another. Skullclamp Zabaz. Yeah, so I think that puts me on Buried Ruin, Crack for Hedron Archive. Or are we just better getting a Meteor Golem that can blow something up? Then we could Skullclamp it? Yeah, maybe it's that. Get the Meteor Golem. Cast the Meteor Golem. We gain 2 more life. Shoot the Temple Altasaur. That thing can really cause some problems. Not interested in finding out what that can do, because I think if like a Blasphemous Act happens or something, it's not great for us. Skullclamp the Meteor Golem. Cast the Expedition map. And then we gain 2 more life. We'll sit on the Heliod's Intervention. If opponent wants to come our way with a bunch of stuff, then we blow up all their artifacts. We are leaving quite a bit of value on the table, though, which I don't love. Just not a ton that we can do. Guess we could shoot it, and yeah, maybe we're doing that. Destroy the Meteor Golem. Oh, we could have sacrificed it and pumped the Arcbound. Whoops. Whoops. Yep, there's those small plays I was talking about. Arcbound Overseer, huh? 8 mana is quite a bit. All right, I'm going to leave up Heliod's Intervention for now, just in case, because that's a lot of nastiness over there. If not, we can crack the Expedition map, try to find a card draw land. You know, we forgot to re-equip the Skullclamp. Hopefully that doesn't bite us. Hopefully that does not bite us. Opponent's going to swing the 1/1 over to KO. Yep. Get that Journey to Eternity going. Yes, we are. Modular 6. Man, that thing is so much mana. Though, I guess we can produce a lot of mana if all of our artifacts hold up. Keep praying for no artifact board wipes. Yeah, that's all Cave of Eternity. Bring him back. The Violent Tumor. Put another creature into the graveyard. Yeah, that seems good. Or any card, rather. Probably a creature, given the deck. Soul Ring. We're actually leading our opponents on card advantage. I guess we're tied with Delta Fiend. 65 cards in library versus 65 cards in library. Zombie and KO are at 73 and 71. And I know that's, like, not perfect, but... Oh, God. KO's gonna shoot our Zabaz. He only shoots it for 1. That's interesting. Oh, it can't block. That's why he's doing it. I see. Pyroceratops. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. You know, we're really not seeing the dinosaurs that I expected to see. I expected to see a lot of enraged dinosaurs, but so far he's mostly showing us the jank. There's a Field of Ruin. Watch out for that one. Opponent's got a Scavenger Grounds over it. Oh, not no more. He's going to Field of Ruin the Scavenger Grounds because he is about to have an active Emeria. He's on 6 planes, so... Yeah, in the Field of Ruin, we'll get him Plains number 7. We can get another land, though. Do we have Emeria? We probably don't. I do not see an Emeria. That being the case, not a ton of red in this deck, so we'll get a Plains. Arcane Signet. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Pyroceratops will trigger. And we'll get a counter on it. KO going to send some in our direction. Going to tap down our other potential blocker. Not ideal. Yeah, we're just going to take a hit here. We're at 48. The commander damage is a little scarier than the regular damage, but our life total's fine at the moment. Not that we can do a lot about it anyway. Can't block with either of our creatures. Ooh, our Shikari went into exile when the Mimic Vat went down. It's not ideal. Padim. Oh. Padim changes the equation. Opponent said he's not attacking. Okay. We'll let the Padim resolve. Padim is a problem, though. My way of dealing with this deck was Heliod's Intervention, which Padim definitely shuts down. But if he wants to go kill KO right here, or at least maim him, I'm down for that. No attacks. Yeah, I would just be way more aggressive with what he's got going on over there. End step, we have some stuff we can fool around with. Let's crack this Expedition map. Get War Room. Choice between Axguard Armory or War Room. We'll see what our next card draw is. It's another land. Wow. Yep. Oh, man, it's turn 11. Axguard is going to be pretty slow. We can get Thornbite, but I don't know. Thornbite is, like, not the best. I think I'm on War Room. Just keep the value coming. Play this Arcbound Mouser. Just going to try and value my way to victory. Skull Clamp the Mouser. Modular Trigger. Pump our commander. Skull Clamp. Reckless Fireweaver is a card. Zabaz now an 8/8. Let's get the Fireweaver in. We got some mana, so I mean we can cast the Arcbound Overseer. Might as well, right? Reckless Fireweaver. You know what we can do? We can late to dinner, get back our Meteor Golem, shoot the Padim when that becomes an issue. Who's getting Skull Clamp? Skull Clamp Zabaz. Let's Skull Clamp this guy. Really wish this was Miraculous Recovery, because then we could leave it up at instant speed. We'll activate the War Room. There's a Bonder's Enclave. We're still at 8 cards in hand. That's fine, we can discard lands. Plenty of lands to get rid of. Can we attack KO? Yeah, I think we can. His command... yeah, that Planeswalker is going to be annoying, so give Zabaz flying. He could Razia and kill the Reckless Fireweaver, but then Razia will die. No, will Razia die? Let's prevent the next... Yeah, Razia will die. And if he wants to recast Razia, that's a lot of mana. No one wants to recast Razia. Basically trading Razia for a Fireweaver is what would happen. Probably should have attacked the Planeswalker more aggressively early on. Opponent is going to Oblation their Planeswalker, so they'll draw 2 cards. I guess that works out fine. I need to look at this card a little bit more. Stuff like Mavinda, Feather, I think it's reasonable. Can be reasonable. In the past, I never really cared for it that much. It's more of a bad card draw spell than it is a removal spell a lot of the time. But if you're in a pinch and there's something nasty on board, then giving them 2 cards probably isn't as bad as whatever nasty thing you're trying to shoot. So, I don't know. Probably needs to make its way back into some of my decks. Discard the Guildgate since it comes in tapped, and we'll pass like that. Colfenor coming back. I believe he put Priest of the Fell Rites into his graveyard. Yeah, it's God on Earth. 2/2 Death Touch coming our way. We'll just take that. Yeah, I don't really want to lose any of our stuff, so we'll take the 2. Down to 38. Oh, that's an active Emeria. Temple Althasar coming back. Burning Sun's Avatar, spicy. Well, I guess there's not really a reason to use that with Razia. You can just shoot something. Our Fireweaver is probably in the line of fire here. Yeah, our Fireweaver and Delta Fiend's Face. There's an Enraged Dinosaur Raptor Hatchling coming in. Opponent's going to activate a Carekeep. Shield of Cauldra coming in. I don't know where the Helm went. I don't know if it's in their hand. Anyone remember? Anyone remember where the Helm went? Because we cast Vandal Blast. Maybe they got it back to their hand with Trading Post. Oh, nope, there's the Helm. Found it. It's in the graveyard. Oh, the Shield's actually really bad news because now Heliod's Intervention really doesn't work. That's not good. So now we need to get rid of the Padim and then find Exile. Ugh, probably just should have shot the Equipments. Shield onto Padim. Yep, now Padim is very difficult to kill. No attacks from opponents still. Not much to do here at the end step. As far as this goes, there isn't a ton of removal in the deck. There is a little bit. Short of catching the exact pieces we need, we'll probably just have to find some other path to victory, either like an unblockable Zabaz or one of the combos in the deck. But that does bring it back to our turn. Arcbound Overseer is going to trigger. That's pretty fun. There's an Aggravant. Oh. Argivian Archaeologist, I think this is out of Antiquities, if I'm not mistaken. That can get our artifacts back. That's a pretty good thing. Play the Bonder's Enclave, make mana with Chromatic Orrery, draw with Bonder's Enclave. Lightning Greaves is interesting. Lightning Greaves means we can go Boots Archaeologist. I like that. Get the boots. We gain 2 life. Yeah, man, Forsaken. I almost cut it. It's doing work this game. Doing work. Oh, it only goes back to hand? Ah, that's frustrating. What artifact will we get back? The Mouser is not the worst thing. A modular and more skull clamping. Or we could wait. Yeah, we can start doing stuff with Meteor Golem if we need to. Might be a wait and see kind of thing. KO has no additional creatures in his graveyard, so we actually don't need to shoot him area right now. So we'll hold off on that. Even though there's never a bad time to shoot in an area. But the removal's limited with this deck, and we now have a pretty hard to disassemble board state over here. So Lightning Greaves on the Archaeologist. Activate the War Room. Solemn Simulacrum is a card. Play a Solemn Simulacrum. Keep the value coming. Solemn. This could actually get us out of our land flood here. Solemn's a 4/4? It's a pretty good blocker. Let's get another Plains. Skull Clamp over to the Solemn. We have 5 mana left. Heliod's Intervention doesn't really do what we want it to do anymore. So, yeah, we'll just sacrifice the Solemn, draw 3 cards. Showdown of the Scalds is a magic card. Fervor is also a magic card. I don't know that I want to Showdown of the Scalds because we'll kind of show them what cards are coming. Fervor is probably a good play, though. We don't have enough to Skull Clamp and leave up the Archaeologist. So I think I'm gonna leave the Archaeologist up instead of Skull Clamp. We've drawn quite a few cards now, and we've still got the card draw land. So if everything holds up, we're all right. I don't think we can really attack though. Definitely need to be defensive. See if this board holds up for another turn. Discard the tap lands. Looks like just the one. Dreadhound. When it enters, mill 3 cards. Whenever a creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from the library, each opponent loses 1 life. Is that like Sir Conrad Part 2? Dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from libraries. So dies or mills. Each opponent loses 1 life? Yeah, that seems strong. They're going to mill 3 cards. No triggers. Missed creatures. The Great Henge. No big deal. Forget if I've talked about it on video or not, but I was playing a couple months ago, and I had a few games in the course of a week where I was able to either steal or clone the Great Henge. And when you steal that type of effect, that play a creature, draw a card type of effect, you can turn a mid-power deck into something insane. It really speaks to just how powerful those effects are, because that's one of the things that makes green really strong, is not only do they produce a lot of mana, but now every time they cast a creature, they're getting another card, so they aren't really running out of cards. When you give that same effect to other decks, it really cranks them up a couple notches. And it was really eye-opening to me to see what happens when you, like, steal someone's Great Henge and go to town with it. Also means that if you have removal, you should definitely blow it up. Razia... I don't know if I like this. Razia is going to prevent the damage to the Raptor Hatchling and send it over to the Glimmerwasp. The thing that I want to check is that damage going to have Death Touch? Yes, it is. That is unfortunate. Yep, that's a thing. We're each going to lose a life. The modular will trigger, though. Put it on the Ravager, I guess. You know what? We could have actually sent Zabaz to the graveyard and not dealt with the commander tax if we use the Archaeologist. Land tax, Amaria. No creatures. Here comes the other Whatley, Dinosaur Knight. Target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Or they can pump it to put 2 +1/+1 counters on a dinosaur they control. Silverclad Ferocidons. Yeah, that's the one I've been nervous about. What will we sacrifice? Probably start with the Overseer. Yep, they're going to do the damage redirection thing onto our Arcbound Ravager. And then they're going to have the Ferocidon kill this thing. That thing dies. Dreadhound and Colfenor trigger. Interestingly, we are the hardest hit by the Ferocidons. Opponent can make tokens with Carekeep. Zombie is a sacrifice deck, so yeah, it's not ideal. KO going on some weird attacks. Okay, so he's trying to get it killed so we can bring it back with Amaria. Because the timing, the combat damage will kill this before Sword of Cauldron has the ability to trigger. I think that's one of those things they didn't playtest very well, because the trigger happens afterwards. Mirrodin, not known for his playtesting. See Skullclamp. Rumor has it they were more worried about the new card frames than they were about the abilities printed on the cards. There are some crazy cards in the original Mirrodin set. Violent Tumor coming back, and the Great Henge. That went to exile. Oh, why did that go to exile? It should have died from the combat damage. I mean, at least that's the way it's always worked on Magic Online for years. So I don't know if it's just been wrong on Magic Online for like a decade. Sword of the Animist onto the Kobold. Oh, I see. Temple Altasaur prevents all but one of the damage, which causes it to get exiled, because instead of it doesn't die to regular combat damage now. That explains it. Yeah, that's weird. So, yeah, normally when you have a giant creature like this, Sword of Cauldron will just kill the creature in combat, and then you don't get to exile it, but because of the Temple Altasaur, kind of backfired a little bit. Want to go on the attack with the Kobold, gonna get themselves a land? Sure. I think I cut Winds of Abandon at the last second, which I'm kind of regretting now. Scrap Mastery could be very interesting. Oh yeah, especially with the Ravager. Yeah, Scrap Mastery is probably the card we want to find. Although, Scrap Mastery doesn't deal with our opponent's blockers, though. Although, I guess it solves that problem, which is cool. End step, activate the Archaeologist. I think we got to get the Meteor going back to hand just to make sure we have it in case we need it. Brings it back to our turn. Arcbound Overseer trigger. Another land. Get our commander. Showdown of the Scalds. Exile the top 4. We can cast them until our next turn. 2 lands. Thornbite Staff, Smothering Tithe. Interesting. There's a Great Henge in play, so Smothering Tithe will be good. Yeah, cast the Smothering Tithe. Cast Thornbite Staff. I'm just not at all worried about those lands, given the number of lands we have in our hand. I do want to get the Axeguard Armory in. Actually, is there anything left to get with it? I don't even know. We might have everything that we can get with it. That is a thing. We can misfail playing something back to the bottom, though. That's a possibility. But yeah, we have all of our equipment, so no real need to go in on Axeguard Armory yet, but we'll see how our mana shakes out here. Zabaz is back. Not interested in the Ferocidon shenanigans, so... or do we wait? How much is this to equip? 4? Ugh. Oh, you know what we can do? Yeah, let's equip this. Ooh, our colorless lands make double. I forgot about that. It's a good thing to keep in mind. If Ferocidon trigger goes on the stack, we can shoot that token in response. Although I guess they have untapped lands, so I don't know. Skullclamp on Zabaz. Oh, I think we can kill KO. The problem is if we kill KO, then we can't kill, then Dalakos probably kills us. Do we take that chance? Do we take that chance? Yeah, his only flyer appears to be tapped out. Modular. All those counters will go on Zabaz. Yeah, that seems like a thing. Gonna be wide open to other attacks, though. So then I guess we just try to survive. Yeah, I mean, this may not work, but this game's really long, so we need to get this game moving. So here we go. Make Zabaz flying. Sacrifice the Arcbound Overseer. Zabaz now has 13 power. Sacrifice the Arcbound Ravager to itself. And Modular will trigger, put that all onto Zabaz. Zabaz now has 28 power. It's pretty silly. Attack KO. KO goes down to commander damage. 28 commander damage. Get this game moving. We'll play the Mountain from Exile, just because I want an untapped land right here. So, why not? And then we'll pass. Hope that Heliod's Intervention is enough to keep us alive from whatever's probably about to happen. Opponent gonna bring back an Elenda the Dusk Rose from their graveyard with the Atzal. That's a heroic intervention. Board wipe? Note that their commander is not indestructible. The Padim is, which is a little annoying, but... oh, I really hope it's not an artifact board wipe. I really hope it's not an artifact board wipe. White is scary. It's an artifact board wipe. Ooh. Mana value 3 or less. Oh, I forgot to... I meant to do stuff. Crap. Yeah, that's not great. At least we'll draw 2 cards. I cleaned out a lot of the artifacts we needed to deal with. That's good. We lost a lot, though. Oh, what we can't do, I'll do this now. Oh, we have triggers. Someone's going to make a Kobold. Yep. There's an austere command of our own. Yep, we'll probably fire that back in retaliation. He has almost all big creatures, so we can go big creatures and his artifacts. Who's eating the damage here? Indestructible blocker is an issue. Spreads it a little. We're going to take a shot for 9, though. That life gain keeping us healthy. We've taken a few punches this game. Would love if we could get like a little bit of mana with the Smothering Tithe here. Meant to use those treasures to feed them into the war room, but clicked a little too fast. There's a treasure. Dalakos, back to play. Here's the thing to think about. We can deal with zombie. I don't know that we have a way to deal with Delta Fiend, so if we can come up with some way to like make Zabaz lethal and swing in over there, that's probably a thing that we need to do. Sword of Cauldron onto the token. Yep, it's got flying in haste. End step, activate the war room. The Ozolith, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. Although I guess it would have got blown up, so there is that. Restoration Specialist is a card. Trigger from Showdown of the Scalds, which I think means start with our commander. Oh, 7? Wow, I've used in so much of our time. Zabaz, back to play. Play a land. Cast the Ozolith. Restoration Specialist. Showdown of the Scalds. Late to dinner. Archaeologist. Pump our commander. And no attacks. Cathar's Crusade. That's a card. Spiteful Squad. Cathar's Crusade, Great Henge. Smothering Tithe. What's not great is all these triggers are still burning our clock even though I'm F6'd. Kind of annoyed about that. If we can get Delta Fiend to tap out the flyers, or, depending on where Dalakos ends up, we could like Meteor Golem this, which would lose flying, gives a boss flying, and then we get back the Ravager, and then just sacrifice as many artifacts as we can, make the Ravager huge, put it all onto Zabaz. Seems like a play. Someone played it. That Urborg. That Urborg's going to kill us, is what that's going to do. In some sense, like, we almost need to blow that up because it's going to make us take so long to tap. That is a problem. Contortionist. Yeah, they're feeding us treasure mana, which is definitely good. But we may also just have to kill zombie. That may be a thing that needs to happen. Does he have flyers? Colfenor has reach, which makes that kind of difficult. Opponent's going to block. Caldra's going to exile this thing, which is good. We go down to 22. Opponent's at 23. Opponent's going to pump their thing. We're going to activate and get Ravager. We're going to do that right now. Moonsilver Key. Cracks it. Commander Sphere. Opponent draws. We get a treasure. Equips the sword. The choice is, who do we want to kill? I think we kill Zombie just because he has a lot of damage. Also, he has a lot of triggers that'll be a pain for us. There's a... Ooh, that's a Chaos Warp. Chaos Warp is actually a card that we need. Chaos Warp can get us through the Padim and through the Sword of Cauldron. That is really helpful. Okay. Land, Ravager, trigger Zabaz, get Arcbound Overseer, cast the Overseer, pump Zabaz, sacrifice this thing. Zabaz getting bigger. Still needs more power, unfortunately. Oh, the Ozolith might get us here. There's 19 power. Okay, yeah. So... Chaos Warp this thing. Actually, no. We're going to need that against them. Yeah, Chaos Warp this thing. Don't have time to think about it. Pump Zabaz. Sacrifice this to itself. And we're going to time out. But yeah, so we kill Zombie right there. And then as long as Delta Fiend doesn't make a big play on us, we probably win. So down we go to the timer. Kind of annoying. I guess that's part of I haven't played in a while either. Sometimes just play slowly, but we got to see a lot of cool stuff out of the deck. Definitely some cool little contraptions we had assembled. Zabaz is a really interesting commander that just allows you to do a lot of weird things. Zombie sent in everything. I haven't done the math. Hopefully this finishes it. He has 3 blockers. It probably won't. But I guess, like, you know, if they just lose everything here, then... they go down. Nice. So Zombie takes it home with his Colfenor Warlock deck. Opponent had Arcane Denial, Bludgeon Brawl, and Chaos Warp. Fun cards. So some quick thoughts on the deck. It's interesting. There's some interesting contraptions in here. There's a whole combo with Thornbite Staff, Brea's Apprentice, and Arcbound Reclaimer. It doesn't seem like a very good combo as far as I'm understanding it, but Zombie told me it's in here, so, you know, that is what it is. But as far as stuff I added to the deck, Skullclamp was an MVP. Okay, so here's the cards that I added to the deck, and all of these cards, when we saw them, were fantastic. They all gave us a lot of value and were really good. So the first time I played this deck, I basically got stuck and just couldn't do anything. This game, we were actually able to generate a lot of resources. I was very sad when the Mimic Vat went down. But yeah, so it's, you know, it's the removal and the card draw and the ramp that you really got to make sure are squared away with this deck. Right now, I think it's kind of lacking a good closer. Like, this combo is not doing it for me. I don't know exactly what's out there. I've been thinking about doing a deck where, like, you just dump everything into the graveyard, and then pull it all out with Scrap Mastery, Open the Vaults, Wake the Past, not available in Magic Online yet. There's, I think, 2 more of those. There's another one from Original Mirrodin. I think it's 7 mana and mono white. And there's also Triumphant Reckoning. So I've been thinking about a deck like that. That could be kind of interesting. I don't know if it exactly fits in here, but it's something to think about. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. Help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipatx.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.